Hello, May. Hi, puppy. Hello. We're down here with puppy May. This is her week 1 video recap for the Stay and Train program. So what we're going to do in these videos is just run through all the behaviors that we've been working on for the last week with these dogs, so you can see their progress and the new stuff that they learn each week. Now, May already knows that I have food in my pocket. So usually we like to get them warmed up with a little bit of play, but she's like, no, give me the cookies. I know you have the cookies. Good girl. What do you think? Where's your toys? She said, I want my breakfast. Good girl. Okay, I think we're just gonna get started with her. So the first things that we introduced to these puppies in week 1 is the concept of the clicker. Let me grab my clicker. Here it is. So in your handouts for the Stay and Train program, you can read in more detail about the clicker. But basically the clicker is going to tell the puppy that they did the thing and they're going to get their food reward. So we start just by charging the clicker all on its own. I'm going to click the clicker, and then I'm going to go ahead and feed May a cookie. So we're going to do that 3 times in a row. We just do this in week 1. We just want to teach the dogs that when they hear the sound, that they're going to get fed. And so you can see May's whole body language changed as soon as I started clicking the clicker. She started getting pretty excited because she knows that she's going to get her treats. Right? Yeah, you're such a happy girl. All right, so then the next thing that we use the clicker for is teaching the puppies how to follow a food lure. So I'm going to have a piece of food in my hand. I'm going to show it to May. She's going to get connected to it, see how I can move her around with it. And then I click that clicker right before I release the treat. So following a food lure is an important concept in dog training because that's how we get the dogs to move around and find the positions that we want them to be in. So we use this, or we train this as its own exercise in week 1. Just following that. Good girl, May. Yes. Good girl. Ooh. All right, so after a few reps of following the food lure, we're going to move into our hand target. So I'm going to show May that I have the food, touch, and how it's different from the following the food lure is that I am disconnecting from the puppy. So this is the food lure where she's close and connected. This is the hand target, touch, and then I mark and release that cookie after she reconnects with my hand. Did you get it? There you go, good girl. And you can do this with both hands, and I'll do it with my right. Touch. Good girl, very nice. Okay, puppy. Now we're gonna work on finding a sit. So again, I'm gonna start with the food lure, but then I'm gonna use it to move the puppy into position. Sit, click, and then release that food. Good girl. Yeah, let's do that a couple more times. Sit. Perfect job, puppy. Okay, get it. If I put food down on the ground like I just did, I said get it to move her out of the sit position. And I always cue the get it so that they learn that they have permission, sit, to go after the food that I drop on the ground. Get it. Good girl. Very nice. All right, after our sits, we're going to move on to the first step in the mat. The mat is going to turn into a stay type behavior, okay? So I'm going to set it down on the ground. She's going to come on over, and my click point is for 4 paws on the mat. And then I'm going to feed her more than 1 cookie at a time for being on the mat. Get it. Then I'm going to use one of those get it cookies to tell her that she can come off. So the reason that I'm paying her more than 1 cookie on the mat is because, again, this is going to turn into a stay. So we click for 4. So I want to feed the puppy for duration of staying on the mat. Good girl. Get it. Now, if you were just working on the mat, you could certainly feed more than 2 cookies. I'm just doing 2 right now because we're doing all sorts of stuff, and I don't want her to get too full. So see how she's offering coming over to the mat now? Good, she's even offering some sits, which is very nice. I don't require that in week 1, but we do start to require it in week 2. Get it? And sometimes they start to offer it right away. Wow, what a good job, puppy. So we did 3 reps in the mat. Now we're going to get her dressed in her harness. Uh-oh, I threw the harness way over here. Gotta get it. Here it is. What's that? Good girl. So the harness, sometimes when we first introduce it, it is a little foreign to the dog. They're not used to having stuff on them. We put stuff on them as humans. Come here, puppy, puppy. So they're not innately, born to be comfortable with wearing a harness. So we want to expose them to it, socialize them to it at a very young age. And sometimes in the first week, they're a little resistant to it. Good girl, I know. Let's see how she's a little wiggly when I'm getting it on. There we go. But then I want to show her we can do some get it cookies. And we just want to teach the puppy that it's no big deal to have her harness on. So we can do get it cookies on the ground. We can play with some toys. Ready? Get it. Right here. There you go. Oh my goodness, you're not seeing it. Yeah, good girl. Okay. Very good girl. So she was a little wiggly initially when I first put the harness on. But now she's thinking about the food. She's moving around, not thinking about the harness so much anymore. Sometimes when you go to take it off, they might get a little wiggly too, just because of like the Velcro. But there's all sorts of different types of harnesses. These harnesses have Velcro on them. Some of them just have the snap buckles. Good girl. You may just walk your puppy on a flat collar, and that's fine too. But it's just the fact that we're socializing her to, hey, I put something on you, be okay with it, right? Good job. Good girl. Get it. Okay, we're going to do one last thing here, and this is just working on a little bit of handling. So what I mean by handling is how your puppy will be handled at like the groomer and the vet. It's a little bit different than how we normally just pet or cuddle our puppies at home, right? So even just a little pet over her head, and May was like, oh, I'm not really sure about that. Did you see that? So I'm just going to kind of pet her back here, and I just want her to know that it's okay if I handle her a little bit. Yes, good girl. I'm not even going to use the clicker, I don't think, because I think the clicker being so close to her, she was a little startled by it. Yes, so I might just use the verbal marker, yes. And every time I say yes, just like the clicker, I'm going to release that cookie too, okay? Yes. So there I just kind of touched her tail a little bit. Very nice. I'm going to just try one more thing. She's a little bit sensitive to the handling, so we're just going to make a note of this, and we're going to keep practicing it with her so that she gets more and more comfortable with it, okay? Yes. See how I just picked up an ear right there? Yes. Oh my goodness. Good girl. Let's just try to do one foot. Yes, that's good. Very nice. Okay, so that's all we're going to do in terms of the handling exercises today. We want to keep it short, sweet, simple, right at the point of threshold for your puppy. So make sure that you access the handouts for the Stay and Train program. Read through that. Also make sure that you access the video library for video examples of all the behaviors that we practice in week 1. I will have my Zoom availability open probably within the next week, so keep a watch for that as well to book your Zoom.